my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host, a very good friend, is Dave.
You didn't sound so
your name
sure
then.
then, Chris. And hello to our listeners.
People say it's pre-recorded. It's not. Do it every episode, don't
Hey there, good friend there. Welcome to the
What's your name
VHS
again?
Strike Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's a Patreon pick. It's our good friend, Lucky LouLouGreen. Dave, we are going back. Well, we're going back to 1990, but it's a movie based in the 50s. It's a John Waters movie, and technically, it's the third John Waters movie that we've covered, Dave, but we'll talk about that in a minute, even though we've only actually reviewed two of them. But this one stars Johnny Depp, and it's called Cry Baby. So, Dave, had you heard of this? Had you seen any sort of VHS covers of this movie?
I'm not even sure I knew of this existence. And we are getting older, so it's possible that I did one time. I don't remember this from the video shop. Just don't have a memory of this at all. But I think I was saying last week, it's funny, isn't it? How you almost have this 30-year lag. And I guess it's because, filmmakers and writers and things, they'll have their childhood. And then when they actually get into a position where they can create these movies or whatever, then they'll write about their past. And so I just remember in the 80s, and I know this is 90, but it kind of feels 80s, doesn't it? There just been a lot of 50s callbacks. You remember Jive Bunny? I remember dancing on the old school disco to a bit of Jive Bunny.
Yeah, I do as well. I actually know I can recite that song all the way through. I can sing it. And the next bit of that is, it's Buddy Holly. Wake up, a little Susie, wake up. And then it goes to, I can do it. It used to be every fucking family do that fucking song. I've got DVDs of from when I was 10, 11 years old, with fucking Nana and Grandad's jiving and stuff, or trying to. If you know what I mean? Honestly, I never forget.
Looking great, a bit of Jive Bunny. I might actually listen to it when we finish up here.
You know what? It's in my head now. That's it, you fucker. That's it now all day, and I'm going to recite it all the way through because Chubby Checker's in there and everything. There's in the twist.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I seem to remember they had some follow-ups, but that first one was gold.
Same. Yeah, never.
But so it's all the 50s callbacks, and another film that we haven't covered somehow, Chris, is Grease. I used to watch that quite a lot, and that was huge for our generation, I'd say. And even I remember at the more adult nightclubs, or quite often on the 60s, 70s nights and stuff, you'd have that music blasting out. So it's more nostalgia for being in the 80s and having a lot of pop culture, the music, the movies and stuff around the 50s. But what about yourself, Chris?
No, and I've seen clips of Johnny Depp playing this character Crybaby. Like when they do a Johnny Depp career thing, or you talks about, because I used to watch 21 Jump Street as well when it was on Sky One years ago. Obviously, Sky One doesn't exist now; it's Sky Atlantic. But I remember this doing this movie, but I don't remember anything about it, and it's completely passed me by. But I just remember the Elvis quiff and everything, and the little one, I think one of the dance sequences in the prison. But considering we did Hairspray, and obviously we never really talk about this, have we? But we always say there was one movie that we just couldn't get through, and it was our good friend Susan who picked it as well, and it was Pink Flamingo, which is a John Waters movie. And well, you got through it, Dave. I put the white flag up, and when I'm done, like a Wile E. Coyote, I was like, I can't watch any more of this, and I just don't. And it was me who actually said, I just don't think we can cover it. Which usually you're the voice of reason, and I'm the lunatic who's like, yep, that's fine. But I just couldn't get. So that was the movie that broke me, to be honest. Pink Floyd. So Susan has that award, the movie that broke Chris, and I can feel as I say this statement, John Hammond, Spider Dan especially, Blake. And I'm sure there's others, but those three especially now are going through their little black books looking at what could be worse than Pink Flamingo. But that was a movie that just took me under. So we have technically done 3 John Waters movies, but we've only actually recorded 2 of them. So this is our second one. But yes, I have seen beats of this and little clips of it, but completely didn't even, when we did Hairspray, I didn't even look that far in front. I think it was just, we picked Hairspray. It was a John Waters movie. Obviously, Divine was in that. This is his first movie after Divine had passed away.
Yeah.
He was a long-time friend of his. So quite interesting and quite a different take, in Baltimore as well. So really different. And Ricki Lake's in it, who obviously was in Hairspray. Yeah. So yeah, interesting movie that LouLouGreen's picked. And sort of one where I'm thinking, is it a Grease? You said Grease. I watch Grease all the time because Sam loves it. We watch Grease and Dirty Dancing all the time, at least once a year. It's on our Sky thing there, saved as well, even though she's got the DVDs and Blu-rays of both. But yeah, Grease is one of Sam's favourite movies, so we'll have to cover that at some point, Dave. And I actually know that from back to front. I've watched that millions of times, especially when we used to go on the coach to Benidorm. I've told the story before. Dirty Dancing, Grease, and then Fields and Horses for 36 hours, Dave, on a loop. Loved it. Every minute of it. Every minute of it. It was amazing. But there you go. On a little telly at the front of the fucking coach. Oh, God, and then there'd be one in the middle with the sound. Because we used to take our own videos. We used to be that hemped up. I remember taking my Lethal Weapon and Beverly Hills Cops so we could watch something different, because it was always the start of Grease where they're on the beach. And I remember first watching it going, what the fuck is this? And then it was obviously Grease, but I didn't know what it was.
Then you were conditioned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 36 hours, watch them there, and then coming home. Well, 72 really, Dave, because on the way home, you're watching the same stuff. But anyway, not this movie, and yeah, just really different type of movie as well. It's something completely different. We like these sort of off the wall movies, and I've never seen this Avatar. I've never seen it on UK TV at all. It may have been. It feels like a Channel 4 or a BBC 2 11 o'clock at night movie, one of them where it's just on in like the graveyard shift, and it's a cult classic sort of thing, but it would never have been on ITV or BBC One at all. So I've never even come across it in the video shop either.
No, it's weird. Maybe it just wasn't, they didn't have a good distribution deal or something, but it's just weird to have no memory of this. And I tell you what, Johnny Depp, he was a good looking lad, wasn't he? Back in the day.
Back in the day. I think he still is now, but yeah, he certainly was when he was younger. He looks just like me, Dave. Unbelievable.
He looks nothing like Jennifer Grey. But
I love that. Every time I watch Dirty Dancing or Blake puts up a fucking a face swap, the only man who looks like Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey at the same time. That's my fucking claim to fame. Best thing you've ever said that. I love it. Every time I see it, and I go Swayze, and then you'll throw me the fucking Jennifer Grey one, and go, I think you look more like Jennifer Grey before the nose job. Yeah, fucking brilliant.
So yeah, and you mentioned Hairspray. Obviously, this one, after Hairspray, studios were sort of falling over themselves to sign John Waters up for his next movie, and this was that. But obviously, it didn't make quite as much of a smash at the box office. So it cost about $12 million to make, made back about $8 million. And like I say, maybe it was different in the US. Maybe it was, more popular on video or something there. But I don't even think it got released on video for ages. So not quite sure what went on there. You could definitely see if this was the reason you and I love Grease, I think, Chris, showing our hand. But I do want to cover that because I'm pretty sure it's more problematic than I remember as a kid. The reason we loved it is because it was on the fucking telly all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even remember the speaking bits a lot of the time. And it's the music that catches you. And it should do with this as well. But just because it's never been on the TV or widely distributed on video, it could have been much bigger, I think.
I think so. And I think in Baltimore as well, again, another movie set in Baltimore by John Waters, same sort of timeline almost as Hairspray, Dave, just a completely different character, and having Ricki Lake there, so I'm sure if Divine was with us at this point, she would have been in this movie 100%. John Waters, great friends. But yeah, I'm with you. Maybe it's that, and especially the star power of Johnny Depp, because even in 21 Jump Street, he was making moves there where people were fully aware of who this guy was, because, like you said, because he was such a good-looking guy, wasn't he? He had that proper throwback sort of 50s, 60s look about him, didn't he? With
Great
the hair and
hair.
everything.
Yeah.
Jawline. I mean, I'm almost like describing myself, but unbelievable. I look more like Divine, Dave, I think.
I think that's me. I think I'm the chubbier one. I'm a bit more Divine-like. But anyway, Chris, on that note, shall we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
It's a place where the pleasures are simple.
You want to ride home with Dad? We can count out-of-state license plates.
Kids help their parents.
He not only vacuums, he does windows.
And squares get the girls.
We'll get married and live in suburbia.
Then came Crybaby Walker.
Yeah! You're looking to rumble. You're looking at me because I'm the king. I'm the king. I'm the king. Tear in my eye.
I'm so tired of being good.
If you're the king, you're gonna cry. Baby, cry. Baby, cry. Baby, cry. Baby, cry.
Good girls want him bad.
Hi.
Bad girls want him worse.
Look, crybaby, you scorch me, man.
You're a dead man, Walker. I'm the lonely king who needs a queen. Come on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're the sweetest hunk of sugar that I've ever seen.
The only place you're going to sing is in jail.
Never had your love.
I have told you, the young lady does not like to be poor.
Just touch me for 1 second before I explode.
He's not just antisocial.
Get on!
He was born to be bad.
Just one night of happiness, that's all I ask.
Baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry. I cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry. I cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry.
A film by John Waters.
You've made me the happiest juvenile delinquent in Baltimore.
In Baltimore in 1954, Wade Crybaby Walker, known for his ability to shed a single tear, leads a group of drapes. The group includes his sister Pepper, a teenage single mother of two, facially disfigured tough girl, Mona Hatchetface Molnarowski, apparently, and her devoted boyfriend, runaway rockabilly bass player Milton Hatchett, and sexually precocious Wanda Woodward, whose post-World War II conventional parents constantly embarrass her. I think we'll stop there, Chris. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, it's funny with these John Waters movies, especially, I'm going to compare it a lot to Hairspray, but his take on like the 50s and that, and it is a musical type movie, having Johnny Depp in this, he decided to do this to get away from the 21 Jump Street heartthrob thing, but I think this made it even more of a heartthrob being in this, Dave, because he just suits this character. But because he's
is he taking the piss there? I mean, I know I want to get away from the heartthrob stereotype. What I should do is play a James Dean character. That'll really tell them. What fucking logic?
I know. I'm just going for the trivia is, but you're right. Yeah, it's a very strange take, because obviously in Hairspray they tackle a lot of the racism and that around that time quite rightly, and how that world is and that sort of getting on TV and the dance stuff and everything. Whereas this one, it's like a Grease sort of piss take in it in some respects. It's like these bits to it that I can get to. I think the soundtrack's pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's pretty much original songs, but it doesn't feel like out of place, if that makes sense. It's not like, say, in Dirty Dancing, where Patrick Swayze's singing She's Like the Wind because it's his song, and it's like, well, yeah, that's because he sang it in the 80s, whereas most of the soundtrack is 50s of the
it's
era.
contemporary, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this movie's only an hour and 25 minutes. Well, really, it's an hour and 20 plus credits. So it's not anything really where you need to fast forward it, put it on super speed. You don't need to mess about with it. You can just watch it for what it is. And I can't say I absolutely loved it, but I don't think there's a lot wrong with it. It just feels quite familiar. And it almost feels, in some respects, a continuation of Hairspray, if that makes sense. I can feel John Waters' DNA all over it, the way it's shot, the characters, the oddball characters. Like you say, Mona fucking hatchet face there. You know, what an unusual character. And the actress is having a stormer in this. She's playing very well, but it's like all these different American stereotypes of the time. You know, they make it out like it was a wonderful place to live. And I think John Waters is like, no, it was, when you're like, you know, you're out front and center, but there's different things going on. But yeah, I think Johnny Depp's character almost feels like he's a bit of an angel or a ghost in this, doesn't he? Because he looks completely out of place. He's like the most good-looking person in it. He's almost got superpowers in some respects. But yeah, I didn't hate it. And there was a couple of songs, and there's one song I'm sure you've got to come at me for, Dave, because I was pissing myself when I was watching it yesterday. There's one song in particular, and I was thinking, I'm waiting for you to give me some stick about. But there was quite a few songs where I was tapping my feet to, yeah, honestly, yeah. So I don't hate it. The story's a bit all over the place, but it's not a bad movie as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I like what you said there about being in that John Waters world. All the colours are so vibrant, aren't they? You know, it's obviously had the HD touch up as well. So obviously not actually watching it on the VHS now, but what I found interesting was straight away you open up and everyone is getting their polio vaccine, and I was like, can you imagine that today?
Yeah, remember him, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the fucking TB one I always remember.
I was about to say TB, the scar on your arm. Yeah.
Well, the scar is okay. I can live with the scar. But it's the fact that for the next fucking 3 months or something, all the lads at school are all fucking giving each other dead arms to, like, burst the scab and stuff. Just like bunch of bastards. But, yeah, that was the worst one. But I'm sure I had, like, just a sugar cube or something. Or am I thinking of a different one? I should know, really. But
cube.
I'm sure they'll drip something into a sugar cube and then you just eat the sugar cube. I can't remember if that was the polio one or not. But yeah, so basically it was all rolled out in the 50s. I went back to look, and the guy who created it, he tested it on himself, and then it was rapidly sort of signed off and then rolled out across America. So I thought, it's an interesting little callback there. So, you know, and again, John Waters seems to be one of those creators who does, you know, think back with sort of rose-tinted glasses, but, you know, these are obviously memories that he's got and wants to recreate. So I just thought that was all quite interesting, because obviously we don't have to deal with, I mean, polio still exists in the world, doesn't it? But we're quite privileged. We don't have to really worry about it. We have the vaccine and we're all fine. But you don't have to live in an iron lung or anything. But yeah, I thought, right, this is interesting sort of setup. Where's this going? But then when he sheds the tear, and I'm like, I don't know, am I supposed to be in this moment? Because you have, you know, Johnny Depp and the lead girl as well, and they're sharing a glance at each other, and I'm like, Alison, I think her name is. I'm like, am I supposed to be feeling anything? And then he's shedding this tear, and I'm like, is he crying because he's getting injected with his vaccine, or? And what the fuck are they using for that tear effect? Because it looks weird. It's like KY jelly or something. I don't know. He's like fucking
silicone.
Weird. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was genuinely perplexed, and they were using the same stuff throughout the movie, because like other people would shed a tear at some point, and I'm like, what are they using there? But yeah, I just thought that whole setup was quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get the name, I get what it's about, but I also found that whole tear thing very strange. Just to
Yeah.
call him Crybaby, and obviously at the start he doesn't really cry though, does he? Because
No.
you see the guys pushing him in for the injection, aren't they? And they're like pushing him, and it's like he's almost going to start screaming the place down. And then he looks over at the girl, she's having it done, and he's like, "How you doing?" You know, one of them like fucking Joey or Friends,
Joey,
and then
yeah.
like they're in love, aren't they? Then at that point, pretty much. But yeah, it's not like he's been hiding and, you know, he's the toughest guy. Because I think what would have made sense is he's obviously portrayed to be one of the toughest guys in the school. But if he was the absolute, you know, there's a fight scene at the start where he takes, you know, a Fonzarelli type character, because that's what he feels like the Fonz. He's on the bike, he comes in, there's a big scrap. He comes in, lays out 5 of them. He's the toughest guy. The girls are falling at his feet, but he's scared of injections. But it doesn't really show it, does it? They're sort of pushing him in. And it's like, well, what's going on? He's jumped the queue. You get him in. Do we need him to have his injection first? There's a little bit of character stuff missing. Now, whether that's because the movie's so short and there is scenes there probably was, there's scenes missing that on this version that we've seen, the theatrical version. I don't know, because there is supposed to be longer versions of it. But there's not a lot of meat behind why he's called Crybaby other than this one tear. But I don't really think through the movie I give a shit about the tears, to be honest, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like the dance stuff. I like some of the, like, it is like a Grease type situation. You've got the big, it feels like that this Crybaby could actually be on a West End stage, doesn't it? That's how it's done.
I think it was.
Oh, well, there you go. It probably was, because it just feels like it's almost a stage show being made into a movie, just to be made into a movie to give awareness of like what the show is, because it does feel perfect. The characters feel like you're watching someone on a West End stage, or if I was in Manchester in the Opera House, where they've been over the top, almost like a pantomime type thing. But I'm with you. I don't understand. He's just called Crybaby just to show maybe 2 or 3 scenes, but there isn't really a running theme through the movie where it's pivotal. Fucking hell, Dave, I'm even making words up.
Fucking hell. That was
that was an unbelievable. Get the thesaurus out. I don't even know what that was. Pivotable. It's a new one, that, Dave. A pivotable moment. But it's not like there's a pivotal moment where the tear saves the world. You know, one of them where this tear needs to go in this fucking fountain and everyone will be surviving. You know, they won't get polio, or just something that doesn't really feel like there's any payoff for him having the tear. I'm with you. I found that bizarre. However, I just go with the movie. It didn't bother me, the rest of it.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the word now, because I'm thinking it's not like it's describing like it was pivotal. You've got me doing it now. It was pivotal because it wasn't pivotal. It wasn't pivotal, right? But it was potentially pivotable.
That as well. Yeah.
I think we've created a new word that probably has no use other than this conversation. That's okay. Just to be clear, so when I say it was a musical, I don't mean it was a musical and then became a movie. The movie came first, but it was 2007. They came out with the first musical, and then the last one was like 2020. So it's not going now. But like you say, the DNA of the movie, you can see why. You look at it and you're like, oh, okay, brilliant. Just translate that really quite easily to being on the stage as well. So I think I'd watch it. But I agree, the backstory to Crybaby, I'd say another callback as well. It feels a bit West Side Story. I mean, you basically have 2 groups, don't you, who don't like each other. You have the Drapes, who are like the cool gang, you know, and they got the leather jackets, and they're the kind of greasers, I guess. And then you've got the Squares, you know, I guess. So I don't know. It's not quite the same. It doesn't have the same racial undertones as the West Side Story does. But yeah, it just made me think of that a lot as well.
It's mad, isn't it? And did you see the big thing on Traci Lords as well, who plays the blonde girl, Hannah, Wanda Woodward? Like, there's a massive thing about this. The police and FBI were coming on set to try and catch her because apparently she was a porn star, wasn't she? Really bad stuff if you read up on it. I won't go into it, but read up on it. But like, yeah, really thinking they were having to sort of conceal her from being in the movie and everything and all this, like with people coming on set and she was having to make it, disappear and all this bizarre, what a really strange set that must have been to work on. But yeah, there's a good backstory to this and some good trivia, but it's like, I mean, every movie's got some good trivia. Depends what you're interested in. But yeah, I found that really interesting, just reading up on how they got around that and everything. But yeah, I'd suggest reading it. I won't go on about the podcast, but yeah, it's really, really sad life she had up until this point.
Yeah, what I liked about it though is how the rest of the cast and crew and stuff, they all started talking about their own stories of getting arrested and stuff. Just try and make her a bit more comfortable and like not ashamed of it or anything. So sad, but some goodness came out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like John Waters, there's always like a message within the movie. There's always something with it. And I think going back to like the 50s and Baltimore especially, there's a reason he picks Baltimore because he lived there. That's where he grew up. This is obviously some of it must be from personal experience, the polio vaccine, things like that, like the cool rock and roll guy who led the gang, the Danny Zuko type character. I think I can go with it. I can go with like the dance stuff. It was more the set pieces I like, the dancing, like you said before, the colours, the vibrancy of what's on screen. It's very clever. Picking that 1950s, when you watch the adverts from the 50s for the cars and the house stuff, and you've got the 2.4 children, the woman's at home there, she's dressed immaculately and sending her husband off to to work every day while she's there, cleaning the house, driving the car, doing the shopping. It feels that sort of world, doesn't it? The ones who are portrayed like that in this, like Wonder Woman's parents, the typical American family sort of thing, the American dream and all that. But yeah, there's some really good stuff. I mean, I don't think the Drapes is a great name, if I'm being honest.
No.
Gang, I'll be honest with you, it's really not. But I can sort of go with it. I can sort of go with the Drapes, and maybe the Drips or something was probably a 50s word appropriate. With the Drips or something, I don't know. I mean, that's like a negative in it, but the Drapes is a very strange word, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's just occurred to me, I don't think we've ever discussed this before, but I reckon you'd love it in Cuba. Because, I mean, it's a while since I was across there, but because they had the whole revolution in the 50s and stuff, they've got a lot of the old American cars. And they have to renovate them. They don't just chuck them away, but all of these fucking great 50s cars are just kept, and because I guess there's no moisture in the air, they haven't rusted away to nothing as well. So I reckon you'd really like it there, just going around Havana and stuff and seeing all these fucking classic 50s American cars. But yeah, no, it just occurred to me there. You'd have to obviously divert. I'm not sure you could go directly from Vegas to Cuba, probably. But it just occurred to me then.
Well, you know what? I do know of that history, and you're not the first person who said that to me, because they kept them immaculately. Like, there's some amazing cars over there. Even the patina stuff, where it's like it looks like it's absolutely on its last legs, but underneath it's a sleeper. Like engines, everything. But Dave, listen, I bought Vegas the other week again, so I'm going in April anyway. But I've now bought September. Didn't tell Sam. Had a cracking deal. It's £900. Both trips for all three of us to get there. I can't turn that down. It's $3,500 to Tenerife. I just dropped it in the little WhatsApp group. We're going Vegas in September. Sam's words were, "Thanks for fucking asking me. I'm really pleased. I want to go to Tenerife." And then I said, "Well, Samantha, it's £3,500 to go in the same hotel next year, bed and breakfast. That's not including spending. And if we do have a result like we did in September just gone, Dave, we will not spend that sort of cash." So she has come round to my way of thinking, and it'll be 40 degrees, and I've already booked it, Dave. So I've basically I've done the old classic. I've booked it and then begged for forgiveness, and it's all ironed over now.
You've also got it's my medical condition, get out of jail free.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not me, it's my ADHD.
It is, it's my hyper focus, Dave. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Samantha. But yes.
Run that by me. How have you done that for 900 quid? Is it 900 quid each, presumably?
No, for all three of us. So
300 quid each?
Yes. So the, you know what I'm like? You always call me Judith Chalmers or Michael Palin or, taking the mick. But
I thought you were going to
obviously, there's not many.
There.
Yeah, yeah. No.
Judith Chalmers, let's go with that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that one, yeah. But there's not many things from my parents that I've had that I could say great, but they are travel agents and still do it. So we've always been able to, I know how to sort of get on the best deals, the systems and all that sort of thing. But with this is purely Virgin Atlantic credit card. And sorry, actually, no, April's cost us £1,000. That's including the £100 it's cost us for the hotel for a week in Vegas, Dave. Ridiculous. That's the resort fee. So it's 900 quid because Virgin Atlantic credit card, you get 1.5 point per pound. And I had 60,000 air miles to report through it.
Right.
Points. And then I had companion seats. So all you do is you pay the tax on the seats. So it cost me $750 for the seats and then 200 quid so we can all sit together. So it's $950 and then it's £100 for the hotel, which is because Sam's got the whole trip free. But Dave, being the blagger that I am, I have contacted 3 other hotels we're not even staying at, and they've matched our deal of $225 free play, $250 food and beverage, eating at any restaurant. And I'm now going to pretend to stay at these other hotels with no charges, check in on the app, and then go there. And I've got $750 basically at each hotel of food, and just about 700, just under 700 gambling at the moment. So I'm going for $1,000 of freebies. So I'm working on it. I'm trying the Virgin Hotel.
Nice.
No. And then I'm doing that in September. We haven't got anywhere to stay, but the whole trip should be covered free. If it's anything like this, we'll get the hotel. But yeah, 900 for the flight. So anybody needs me, just come and see me for hotels and holidays. I'll try and help you. That's the way to do it.
Very good.
Yeah, manipulate the system.
Give you more material for Phelps travel vlogs as well.
Well, exactly, David. I've hit 1,000 subscribers there. I've got a nice little community going on there. When Mr. Horrocks comes on a Vegas trip, it will elevate the channel. Obviously, it'll be cross promotion, and we expect myself and you to go there and get rather drunk, Dave, and gamble everything away. Yeah, that would be rather nice. I think just me and you, though, David. Just me and you would be the dream.
Yeah, maybe someone will sign up to the McFly one day.
Well,
and then we'll get. But Chris, I would say, and this is not related, but we mentioned pink flamingos, and you let the cat out the bag. I thought you were keeping your cards close to your chest there because you didn't want people sort of just relentlessly picking it or whatever. I did actually, when I met up for Mike and Megan's wedding, I did maybe let it slip to a few.
It's how I Scott often beat me up.
Oh no, that was all. That was all me.
That was
but
you.
Of course, you knew that.
Fucking Jimmy Hart there, fucking probably the brain eating and stirring it up. You won't believe what Chris has said about you, Scott. Now Scott's going to fucking get me in a camel clutch or something and fucking contort me. Yeah, thanks, mate. I know full well you were there with your little megaphone, fucking behind there.
Yeah, the conversation started in the afternoon. I just had to remind him a few more times in the evening before we actually did it. Like, come on.
You kept buying him a drink. Got a drink, mate. Got a drink. Yeah.
But,
Chris said he'd love you. Yeah. Thanks, mate.
So there are some scenes out of Pink Flamingos that I will never forget, Chris. To be fair, and what I would say is another scene that I don't think I will ever forget is Iggy Pop washing his spuds in a fucking tin bath or a steel bath or whatever. It's like, is that fucking Iggy Pop with short hair? What the fuck's going on? But yeah, I will never forget that image.
No, never ever. And I think when he gets put in prison as well, and threatening to cut his hair, and even I'm watching it going, they better not cut his fucking hair. His hair looks fucking amazing.
Glorious.
Exactly. A man with a quiff like myself. I've just had it cut recently, Dave, where I just had the sides cut. So the super quiff is on its way back. I mean, it is grey now and everything, but I love my super quiff. So I always wanted hair like that. I had the big centre parting when I was in the mid-90s, the proper floppy hair. But like now it's more of a side quiff. But yeah, I can respect the hair, especially at 46, still having hair, Dave. I'm lucky. So it might not be for much longer, but I'll keep it for as long as I can. But yeah, I do respect the hair game, 100%. I was like, no, don't cut his fucking hair. And then we got to the point where just as they were about to hatchet it off, it didn't. But I do think that scene when he's in the prison and he's been arrested and everything at this point he's got like the ball and chain on and he does the runner. But I do think the song's quite catchy because there's a guy there getting his bloody hair cut, singing for the scene. And I'm thinking, you must have done that in one take because he can't put his hair back on. They must have had to, like, them guys unless they're different people doing the scene till they got it right with hair. I don't know, but I thought that was very brave. Oh, wait, yeah, possibly. Yeah, he showed like the clippers and that. But yeah, I do think some of the songs are quite catchy. And what I was getting at before, Dave, is the song about the big nose. I was waiting for you to say, I almost feel like that was your soundtrack. That guy singing like the big nose. And I was thinking, Dave sat there pissing himself. He's going to bring that. I don't know if you were going to bring it out, but
I wasn't. But now that
because I don't remember that one, like a big nose. I think someone's mentioned it to me years ago. There's a song from a big nose, but yeah, when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is perfect material for Mr. Horrocks. This one, fucking. You haven't, to be fair.
I felt like, it had a real jailhouse rock feel as well, when they burst into song in the prison. And obviously, even before that, to get to prison, you get this feeling that, I mean, the Drapes are not really, they're not bad, are they? They're not like out robbing cars and stuff and terrorizing people. They're not like 80s punks, those are proper badasses. But these are just on the fringes of society, and the squares are more the dicks who terrorize them. But, the law, the police come down on the side of, it was all you lot who were causing the problem, despite the fact this Baldwin bloke is fucking setting his bike on fire and stuff. So... So leading up to that, I thought it was quite interesting the way it was all set up, and like I say, probably one of the highlights of the movie, I think, for me, was the whole dance scene, in the jail, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. And this is where Hatchet Face comes in the helicopter. I mean, you know what's one of the biggest bugbearers, Dave? And I've said this on loads of movies, and I know this is a piss take movie and it's like a bit of a comedy and all that, but it's when you've got fucking guards, sentry guards, who should have sniper rifles, and they're shooting at Hatchet with a fucking shotgun that spreads about fucking 20 feet at best, and they're shooting from about 100 yards away. The bullets wouldn't even fucking make it to the ground by the time they fucking the speed had dropped. But again, I don't know we're going with the movie, but they sort of, overpower a few people. These bullets find all the guys doing the body, but they seem to get the run of the prison. All the prisoners are in like, they're in their cells other than the ones watching the movies with them 3D glasses. And they've got when she comes in and the prisoners are all scared and they're playing on the fact that they think like, it's part of the movie or something, don't they? And they're all shitting them because it's 3D. They think it's like, she's come out of the screen at them and looking for Cry Baby. The cinema, they play on it. But yeah, they've got the run of the fucking prison, and nobody has ever thought about getting out of the prison in the sewers, Dave. These sewer holes are not like, welded down or anything. These fucking drains, they're just like, but Crybaby's the first one to go, hang on a minute, that's fucking...
it's not a Shawshank type.
Yeah, exactly. It's not digging through a wall. I mean, you know what? Shawshank, we haven't done that either. What a film that is. What a film that is. But I watch, it comes up on TikTok, fucking Max and Paddy, Peter Kay and Paddy.
Right,
and the one where they go in prison and they're trying to escape, and he goes, Patrick, come here. He goes, what? And he has a fucking plastic fork, spoon, and he goes, look, and he pulls a picture off the wall, like a fucking, I don't know, it's page 3 or something, or whatever, or picture of Cliff Richard, I think it's something like that. And he started scraping, and Paddy's like, what are you doing? He's going, I'm getting us out of here, Patrick. And he goes, you're getting us out of here? Goes to the next cell and goes, you're fucking trying to get us into the next cell. Oh my God, we're never getting out. You know, one of them. And you think the Shawshank was so good, wasn't it? The way they do the escape and everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, totally different film. But yeah, that bit is just so silly. I'm like, this is the worst fucking prison ever. You know, like, never thought. But when he ends up like back, obviously he thinks he's getting away and back in. But then I do like the song where Alison comes and performs that song on the car, Dave. It's really catchy about releasing my fucking baby and all this, you know, and they're all dancing away and everything. And again, I was tapping my foot and I'm like, what's going on here, Chris? Why the hell are you fucking tapping your foot? But yeah, I honestly, I think the end of the movie is enjoyable, if that makes sense. It's silly and it's finger, but I can completely go, and I love the way it frames at the end with them two together, but there's more than one tear on both down the face. But I do think it's got that like almost like a cartoon, like capers at the end, even though there's a few bits where you're like, oh, I don't like that, whatever. I feel that there's a good payoff. And the reason it's reviewed it like it's like 7s and 8s, this movie, it's really not a bad movie. And I think, to be honest, I've seen worse musicals with so much more praise, if I'm being honest, Dave. Yeah, so I do like Johnny Depp in it. I think he's pretty cool in it, to be honest. He's basically everything I wanted to be when I was younger.
Oh, I mean, that hair. I mean, I saw my arm off to have hair like that. But yeah, I mean, you get the old chicken race, don't you? You know, you get Crybaby Walker and Baldwin heading off. And of course, you know, Baldwin's drivers fucking veer off because, you know, they're chicken shits, I guess. So yeah, it's like a classic sort of ending. Like you say, they go off into the distance. And again, it just leaves me a bit puzzled as to why, you know, in the 90s, wasn't this played over and over on the TV? You know, like the mid-90s and stuff. I just feel like it would have had an even bigger cult following if it was. There's a lot to like about it. Like I say, it's got the music in it, all the colours are really vibrant, and, you know, it's just silly. You know, and it's almost like a series of sketches, isn't it? It's these little vignettes all strung together. But yeah, it's just a bit of a surprise, this one.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad we've done it, to be honest, Dave. I would probably recommend it if someone said to me, "Want something, you know, something silly? What sort of thing?" And he's like, "Well, this is a completely different take on a Grease or thingy. It's fully aware of itself, isn't it? It's played. It's almost like they break the fourth wall loads of times, basically saying, yeah, we're just going to keep doing this. We know it's fucking stupid. We know it's absurd, but this is John Waters' take on 1950s Baltimore again." So honestly, I'm surprised that how I felt about this one, because, and I must admit, I saw 85 minutes and I was like, "Oh, this is glorious."
Yeah.
Shit. But I didn't clock watch or anything. I just went with it, and I'm very surprised coming out the other end of it and thinking, actually, it wasn't a bad movie, that. And like I say, Johnny Depp, cool as fucking fuck, I've got to say. Proper cool.
Yeah. So on that bombshell, Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go. Let's get into our trailer. We've had a mare today.
On that bombshell, Chris, should we get into our final review?
Yeah. So, massive thank you to LouLouGreen. Thank you so much for picking this one. So it caught me off guard, as I said just before we got into the scores. I really enjoyed it. I think it's silly. It's definitely John Waters. You could put Hairspray and this together and you would know straight away. It's something somewhere has got the same DNA. And obviously Ricki Lake's in it. She's not as prominent in this movie, but she is in it. She is a central character to it. So that does feel familiar. But I think the backdrop of Baltimore, the supporting characters of like the parents and that, it feels almost like you are watching a Hairspray type movie. So yeah, I'll say this, David, and this isn't one of Chris felt special. I must, hit monkey job, but I would probably watch this again. I'd probably watch it. No, I would, honestly. If Sam said she wanted to watch it, I'd probably watch it because it's just silly. It's a silly movie, and I love the fact that it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like Grease plays the whole thing through, and we know there's like comedy in it, but there is a story to it. Whereas this, there is a story, but it's not real. It's just silly. So I'm going to put it, Dave, in Hill Valley. It definitely deserves it. It's not a poor movie. And also, we didn't talk about the Green Goblin, Dave, as well. He's in it as well, slapping Johnny Depp's arse as well, which apparently was improvised. But yeah, he's in it as well with a little number. There's one of the prison guards. But yeah, great movie. And I did enjoy this one, which is strange for me to say because it's not in my wheelhouse at all. So what about yourself, Dave?
I think I might be putting fucking Mr. Defoe on the list for a bit of a talking to. He's able to answer some questions with some of his improvisation there. But anyway, Chris, yeah, I'm not that far from you at all. I think I enjoy this more when I think back to it. I think, you know, when I was watching it, I was just a bit confused about what it was. And I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be watching something serious or, you know, the silliness to it wasn't in your face. I mean, fucking hell, we've just done Naked Gun, haven't we? It's like coming off the back of that, which is uber just silly spoof comedy. Whereas this is much more subtle, you know, little tongue-in-cheek look back at the 50s. And yeah, the music, the colours, like you say, the way it's shot, the star power of Johnny Depp. You know, you obviously look at it, or you look back at it and you're like, oh yeah, you can see why. He just does ooze that star quality, doesn't he? And so, yeah, I'm in Hill Valley as well. I think this is, I don't understand why it's not more popular than it is. And so I can only put that down to the fact it's not had its Grease-like reruns on the TV. But yeah, I think a lot more people would actually enjoy this one.
No, I do. I agree with you. It deserves a lot more respect than probably what it's got out there. Now, Dave. It is a Patreon pick next week. It's our great friend, Mr. Mike Burton. But you will not tell me what we're covering. So this will literally be a live reveal with the trailer. So I don't know what we're covering, but can you... are we counting down? Are you sending me a link so I know what we're
Chris,
doing, Dave?
I'll tee it up a bit because this is one of your favourite genres. No, it's not late night Skinamax. It is it's going back to the early 80s. And there probably is a bit of skin on show, actually. I've not watched this for a long time. But, Chris, this is Sword and Sorcery from 1981, and it is Dragon Slayer. Now, let's get into the trailer.
You know what, Dave? I've always liked Mike as well. He's a great lad. I gave him loads of help when they went to Vegas, him and Megan got married. I'm seriously thinking, where did I go wrong? Why has he picked this? Mike, what are you doing to us?
It's a long, drawn out... Oh, here we go.
I have been witness to something of consequence to you.
To me?
Oh, yeah. He's got a fucking egg. Floating egg. Oh, my God.
No doubt you've heard of our trouble at home.
A dragon. Fire and stench. It is evil. Pure and simple.
You want me to do battle with that?
Behold, for I am chosen. I shall die.
It's more the realistic as opposed to the Conan the Barbarian.
The king selects a new victim.
Looks like it's all filmed in the UK, doesn't it?
Girls.
Yeah.
Virgins.
Your king has made a pact with a monster.
But your children were dying.
Only a few, because that's how
Is this what Game of Thrones was based on, Dave?
Blacksmith, have you ever forged a weapon?
Fucking haircut like Leo Sailor.
It's Leo Sailor.
Hey, Winslet's about her.
I do think I've seen this, but I remember absolutely fucking nothing about it.
Dragon Slayer. Oh, fair enough.
Dragon Slayer.
Dragon Slayer.
Coming from Paramount
We need
Pictures.
to have a serious chat. Why have you done this to me? Anyway, no, honestly, I'm looking forward to this, good or bad. It's be a silly movie to cover. And it's weird, isn't it, with these sword and sorcery ones, the English stamp, it's like that's all the English fucking filmmakers could do around the early 80s, was make sword and sorcery. That's fucking idiot. Make something else.
All the peasants are like, oh, look, I have to tend to the farm.
Yes.
They're all really posh peasants.
Shakespearean actors. That is terrible. Yeah, okay, mate. But why couldn't they have brought out in the 80s? Like, you know, obviously we got the gangster movies, Guy Ritchie stuff. Then that would have been perfect around the 80s days. And proper, you know, London gangster stuff. But no, we get fucking sword and sorcery. I mean, nothing's ever going to beat Thingy though. Is it Jack Palance fucking in what's your favourite one? When he's his brother, Slayer, and he's older than him, and he's his brother. He looks older than the dad. He's 64, and he's about 35 or something. Yeah, it's my brother.
Fucking legendary movie.
Yeah, in your mind. But anyway, big thank you to everyone. If you want to email us, the vhsstrikesback@gmail.com. We find us on social media at vhsstrikesback. And if you do want to support us, please get over to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. So, the roll call of honour. And a massive thank you to Gareth, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Dan, Justin, Susan, Timothy, Matt, Hales, Kent, Herb, Jax, Math, Blake, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much, guys, for all your support. We really appreciate everyone who supports the podcast, past and present. It's so humbling and honestly brilliant. It is humbling. We love it. When you pick dodgy movies, Dave loves it even more because he knows I'm going to hate it. But there you go.
You know what, Chris? Perfect. I was just scanning through here. Just the cast of Dragon Slayer. And I don't know if this is a link for Mike, of course, the creator and host of Genuine Chit Chat and Star Wars Comics in Canon, but only Ian McFucking-Dermid is in this movie. Only fucking Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. So I wonder what role he's got in there.
And this would have been around the time of The Empire Strikes Back, wasn't it?
Was that 80? Yeah, 81, 82-ish, wasn't it? I think Return of the Jedi was 83.
Yeah. Interesting, Dave.
Interesting. Well, Chris, there are no real surprises as to the genre that I've gone with for the musical little number this week. I mean, you can only start in one place for a fucking musical. It's set in the 50s. So that's where I've gone for this one. And so here we go. Guy Bunny could have been Chris.
Feels like it'd been a movie then.
Yeah.
Just doing a diner or something.
Baby with the back with the tear in his eye. Along came Ellison, ready to defy. After school, so he stole the scene. Invite her to join his dream. Rocking duets, their hearts would fly. But jealousy sparked the fight. Fly, baby, rocking round the bar. Whistling child, never gonna stop.
Chorus as well.
Yeah.
Feel the heat. Cry, baby, swinging to the beat.
The harmonies and the claps are like.
melt. Outside of town, always struck back with fiery rays. Burning pikes with a couple on stage. Employed the judge in a brave decree. Cry baby jail, but love stayed free.
You mentioned about the parents getting schooled with electricity.
At the forest, Allison swayed. Song for cry baby, paved the way. The judge found love in grandma's cage. The rebel king was freed from his cage. Cry baby, rocking round the park. Twist and shout, never gonna stop. Music in the air, feel the heat. Cry baby, swinging to the beat.
So I hope you're giving it the old
Very
John
good.
Travolta, swinging your hips there, Chris.
I was tapping away there, Dave. Honestly, that felt like you would be in the diner scene or something like that, you know, in the movie where Crybaby comes in and it's on the background with his own theme song. Like the irony of like not playing up to the fact that it's about him as he walks in the diner, you know, all the girls swinging over him. Oh, very good there, Mr. Horror. You're getting very good at them. Very good. Definitely, I like that. It's good.
That was good fun to put together. I've not gone back to that rockabilly sound as well before, so it's good to play around with a little bit of that. But Chris, it's been a lot of fun today. Glad we both enjoyed the movie. Thanks to you. Thanks to all our listeners. Thanks to, forget my name right at the start, by the way. Thanks to all our listeners. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time. Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back. That's a lie.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go.
All right. Ding, ding.
Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid fool. Maybe you crazy something. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I seen you in 6 months. I must break